Hello everyone and welcome back to SteemTrail Gaming News. Today is the 19th May of 2018. My name is Kralizec and I will be your host for the evening. Today we got only one single story for you guys, but it is a big and important one. It seems that Steam is engaging in censorship. Yeah, you heard me correctly. So this started with a tweet by HoneyDev at HoneyPodDev that said that he received an email from Valve stating that a game called HoneyPop violates the rules and guidelines for pornographic content on Steam and will be removed from the store unless the game is updated to remove said content. If you don't know what a HoneyPop is, I don't really blame you. It's not a particularly popular genre amongst, let's call it, hardcore gamers. It's a game where you pop balloons and you get essentially rewarded with scantily clothed women. And there are a lot of sexually explicit games on Steam. Let's be blunt about that. I'm always surprised when I'm going through the next month's games to see which ones do seem interesting. Like, who's buying these games? But I do realize that they probably have to be making a profit. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so many of them. But Valve seems to have decided that they do not want any kind of sexual games on their store anymore. Well, that's not completely true. It seems to only concern games with Asian, more specifically Japanese style of art. Because games like The Witcher or Conan Exiles don't seem to be impacted by this, even though they are also sexually very explicit. On the other hand, games like HoneyPop, which is already mentioned, Tropical Liquor, or Mutiny, all received a warning from Valve, and these games all share the similar visual art style with, let's be blunt, really big-breasted women, usually showing lots of cleavage, sometimes wearing only panties, as you can see in the thumbnail on the video. I don't think this is correct. If you want to be a platform that sells games, sure, introduce filters. Introduce ways to protect minors from getting to this content. But don't stop offering this content at all. It just, I don't know. On top of that, it seems that these games have been very, very, very cautious in actually following the community guidelines. Somebody at Lupisoft actually said, in fact, Lupisoft has been one of the strictest developers in terms of following Steam guidelines, and absolutely nothing in Mutiny violates their guidelines. After our Steam publisher Tygergamer met with Valve in person, they were told that ecchi content was fine on Steam. Ecchi is essentially a euphemism for porn and perverse stuff. He continued in a few other tweets saying that this puts Lupisoft in a bad situation. While funding for #DizzyHearts is secure, Mutiny was our biggest title. This threatens our future when a platform like Steam can decide on a whim just to pull our games even when we follow their guidelines. This is not normal. This is not okay. Games are being pulled simply because they look a certain way, and there is a stigma behind the look of a game. In the future, this could easily extend to anyone who even makes visual novels, no matter how quote-unquote they sexy might appear. This threatens the future livelihood of any developer even wanting to work on visual novels in the future. This threatens the very fabric of the medium itself when the largest platform can just pull your game without justification or reason at any moment. Speak up. And I'm with him in this case. Even though I'm not a fan of these games, I don't own a single visual novel. I just don't like games that look Japanese at all. It's just not my style. I really don't like the Japanese culture. Hate me for it if you want, but it's just not my thing. And I even tried learning Japanese because it seemed like an interesting language, but I just discovered they think so differently in terms of how their thoughts flow that I just don't like that at all. On top of it, this isn't the first time that these games have been banned from a platform, as Honeypop was actually banned from streaming on Twitch previously. And while, yes, these companies are private companies and they do have the right to only publish whatever they like, I think it sets up a very bad precedent. If you can decide you don't want this on your platform, what will be next? And Steam is the biggest and essentially a monopoly when it comes to game distribution. Let's not forget that. And when a company holds a monopoly over something, we need to be very cautious in how we approach it. That is the time where regulations should come into play. And mostly I am against regulations. But when a company reaches such a big status as Valve has managed to reach with Steam, then there have to be some rules. It is very important to have rules in such an instance. I just want Steam to reconsider. I know this message probably won't reach anybody at Steam, but maybe it will reach some other YouTuber with a bigger platform. Be very cautious when going into censorship. Censorship is never a good thing. Never, ever. If you want, force people to prove their age and then only allow them access to these types of games when they are of age. Even set up an arbitrary age limit, like go for the highest one in the world, which I guess would probably be America with their 21 years, because here you can access pornographic material when you're 18. It's just, censorship always scares me, no matter the reasons behind it. Even if the reasons behind it are good, it never works the way you expect it to work. So again, please, Steam, think about this again, and if needed, introduce some other way to not allow minors access to pornographic content, even though it's just a click away on the internet. Everybody knows it. Everybody knows that 12 years old view porn. I did when I was a kid. Your son is doing it if you have a 12-year-old son. Be honest with yourselves and don't try to be, I guess, family friendly in this case with censorship. That's not the way to be family friendly. And with that being said, that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please consider this and maybe subscribe to our channel. If you're watching on Steemit, maybe you should upload a post and follow the blog. Either way, be sure to leave a comment and be sure to tune in tomorrow for more gaming news, as we are your source of daily gaming news every single day. See you guys later with more gaming content.